All right, you guys, it's time. Now, some may say it's a little bit early because we're only at 1,008 miles on the new 2024 Taco, but I'm going to be doing my first oil change on it. Now, why so early? Because if you crack in the maintenance and warranty guide, which you can find in your glove box and should have come with your new truck, the first engine oil and oil filter change actually is not due until 10,000 miles. Well, many mechanics stress the importance of the break-in period, where basically the first 1,000 miles you should avoid certain things like sudden stops, towing a trailer, and driving at high speeds to avoid premature wear on the engine and other components. Which is why I also haven't taken this thing out on the dirt yet, even though the mountains are calling. So anyways, even though the maintenance manual doesn't specifically call out this oil change at 1,000 miles, it really doesn't hurt to do one after the break-in period. It's cheap relative to any potential engine repair down the line. So let's get that taken care of. I'll not only show you guys how to do this whole process on a 2024 Tacoma, but I'll also show you what the oil looks like if you're curious. Hopefully we don't find anything out of the ordinary, but let's get it started, and I'm first going to show you everything I'll be using. So the oil I'm using should be no surprise to those of you guys who have watched the channel before. It's going to be Haviland Pro DS Lifelong Full Synthetic. I have really enjoyed using this oil on my 3rd gen Tacoma with great results. It's great, you can pick it up at Walmart, and pretty much everything you're going to find on the shelf is synthetic, and synthetic's better than conventional because the molecules are more uniform in shape and there's also fewer impurities. So definitely recommend a full synthetic, and 0W20 is the correct oil weight according to the owner's manual, and 5.9 quarts is the amount, which is a happy coincidence because my favorite oil here that comes in the Smart Change box, you can see it has a quantity of 6 quarts. Most oil you'll find will come in either 1 or 5 quart quantities, so just a happen to be perfect side benefit to Haviland. Next up, oil filter, and if we open the box, oh, by the way, part number right here. It's a small little thing compared to my Gen 3 Tacoma. I always like to go OEM with a part like this. It's under $10. I picked mine up locally from the dealership, but I do have to shout out my friends at Sparks Parts, an online OEM parts retailer, because they do have a discount code set up for you guys that you can use on any Toyota OEM parts like this, these drain plug gaskets. And obviously we only need one today, but I think it looks like these things come in 10-pack quantities, so I just pick up a little bag of these at a time. Now onto tools. First one is an oil filter wrench. And in my old videos, it's actually kind of funny because I hate on this one specifically because you can see it's actually notched, and I highly prefer the notchless ones because they won't break the plastic tabs on the oil filter housings on the Gen 3s, but this one happens to be kind of dual use because it also fits this oil filter like the inner part of it does. So can't hate on it for today. This accepts a 3/8 inch drive. I don't know if I need an extension yet, but I'm guessing I might, so I've got that out. I've got a ratchet and 14mm socket. That's for the drain plug. And then the 12mm socket is to remove a couple bolts holding on the skid plates. The other thing that I have is this drain pan over here, which I did my best to clean out as much as I could so we could see any potential debris, which hopefully again we don't. As we get started here, I want to make sure that if you're following along, that you're aware that any sort of DIY maintenance can affect your warranty. Oil changes are relatively simple, but if you use the wrong oil or overfill, you can potentially void your warranty. First up, we're going to remove this cap, and if you're like me and have a really difficult time opening these things up, a trick I learned recently from a Chris Fix video was you can use like a set of pliers and you go on the other end, and it helps to remove it. Also, with the hood open, you might be able to find a couple little Easter eggs over here. I think this one is my favorite in the 2024 Tacoma. First up, I'm removing the bolts that hold the skid plates on. Although some people would hardly call these skid plates because they're not made of aluminum or steel. My guess is they're some sort of composite material. Although, depending on your application, I've had plastic skids before that are actually pretty good because things can just slide right over them. But for obvious reasons, aluminum and or steel is going to be the better choice. Good thing is they're light, easy to remove. Then there's one more back here too. In these clips, you guys might also see a sneak peek of version 4 of my custom homemade billet recovery points if you were following along from my first mods video where I installed them. This is actually a version where I offset the holes in all honesty for aesthetic reasons to center them, but I'm actually not a fan of this one, so I'm working on version 5, which I'll be 3D printing since I'm out of aluminum and it's cheaper to prototype that way. Be right back after I change this. Now I do want to show you guys. Your oil filter is right up here. Your drain plug is right there. So, got the drain pan. Hopefully, I aim right. Again, 14 millimeter. All right, here goes nothing. Let her rip. And there she is. Looks like I got a tiny bit over here on the frame, but overall, not too bad. Well, this is all going to replace the drain plug gasket. Get your torque wrench, torque this to 30 foot-pounds. Next up, we're tackling our oil filter. So I think I was wrong. I just looked, and you can probably do it without an extension on a ratchet. Definitely don't forget to move your drain pan. Probably not going to help that much, but whatever, it's going to make me feel better. That is way more than hand tight. I mean, I'm not strong, but that is not hand tight. Oh, there goes our shop towel. It's kind of interesting. This oil filter is a different part number than this one over here. Sorry, they're upside down. I just don't want oil to drip all over my toolbox. Something interesting to point out, this one's made in Japan, and the ones I got from the dealership made in Thailand, but otherwise look very, very identical. And the dealership did confirm by my VIN that this was the correct oil filter, so. All right, we've got the new oil filter. Try not to spill too much of that new oil. I pre-filled the filter, which is why you see oil coming out here, but since it spins in horizontally, I probably won't do that next time. Now, of course, it's time to add our new oil in. Again, I'm using Havilland Pro DS 0W20. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. This is my Motivix oil funnel. Hold on, let me make sure I don't cross-thread this guy. So this is what I use on my Gen 3. Works for my Gen 4 too. All right, so this is gonna be a little bit of a longer reach. Hopefully we don't get oil everywhere, but sometimes you just gotta go. All right, nice. So again, this box is a 6-quart box, but according to the manual, we only need 5.9 quarts. So I'm going to not use the entire box, gonna kind of guesstimate, and it's better to, I guess, underfill for now, because then I'll take it on the test drive, get the engine oil up to temp, check the level with the dipstick, and just put more in if I need to. Now my 3rd gen takes, I think, 6.3 quarts of oil, but that obviously is a V6 with a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder. I was kind of surprised that with, you know, a smaller displacement engine, you need almost just as much oil, but maybe there's like an external oil cooler or something. All right, just based off of feel, what's left in the box, I think there's slightly more than 0.1 quarts left in, although I have no idea. But like I said, the idea is to test drive, get the oil up to temp, and see where we're at. And after doing so, I checked the dipstick, which is hard to tell since the oil is new and light. But you might be able to see that it ended up between the two markers. Alright, as promised, the last part of this video is going to be to check for any debris in the oil. Obviously, any debris, hopefully again we don't find any debris, that we find would probably be metal shavings. So I've got a little magnet here. I'm going to dip it in the oil. And obviously that dumb shop towel that I dropped in isn't going to be affected by this. But it's a pretty strong magnet I've got here, so it should pick up anything. Also, yes, I am very aware that this wouldn't pick up aluminum shavings. I should have used a sieve or something for those, but visually, even after I poured out the oil, I did not see anything. And you can see we're good. We are free and clear. Now, sitting at 1,000 miles, really there aren't any other maintenance items that are due at this point. We'll come back to things like the first tire rotation at 5,000 miles, but I did give her a good first detail with my Chemical Guys clay bar and clay luber, along with a coating of Hydro Speed for just quick shine and protection. I also did a quick Tecron treatment, which is a cleaning agent for the fuel system to prevent deposit buildup. And interestingly enough, the manual calls out that if you're in Hawaii, you should use an electronic fuel injection cleaner, which would be something like Tecron every 5,000 miles, maybe due to the gas consumption out there or the humid weather that can cause moisture in the fuel system. Either way, this is easy preventative maintenance, but yeah, I haven't done much else. All right, that was the 2024 Tacoma first oil change after the break-in period. Was pretty easy, I would say definitely DIY-able, went pretty smooth in my opinion. It took me about the same amount of time as it does to do my Gen 3, maybe a little bit longer, but I would just say that's because it was my very first time doing this truck. But overall, I think it's actually a much easier process in my opinion versus on my 2019 Tacoma. There's less tools involved, it's less messy, and you don't have to deal with that outer oil filter plastic housing. I hope this video was helpful, or I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to connect more with me, you can follow me on my Instagram. It is at ChloeKuoTaco. That is where I post more of my real-time updates. Things that are happening first happen over there. It's just so much easier to connect with you guys on Instagram. So check that out if you want extra content. Other than that, thank you again for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.